Hey, it's Kenny.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Who's this on the air?
This is Jenna.
Hey, Jenna. Thank you for being on.
Well, thank you for having me.
You called in a bit early, but since you're here, I guess I'll go ahead and interview you, and when Paris gets here, we'll talk to you both. So let's go ahead and get started. Talk a little bit about yourself and how did you get started in the wrestling business?
Well, I've always been a fan of wrestling as a kid, and I had the opportunity of working with Wade Garrett and Sassy Vegas. So I started training, and the more I trained, the more interested I got into it, and I just went from there. My interest grew, and I decided to pursue it.
Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
My favorite wrestlers growing up, I would have to say, would be the Ultimate Warrior, because you're a kid and he's brightly colored and everything. And I actually loved Sherry Martel, even though she was a manager, she wasn't a wrestler. And as I got older, I liked Trish Stratus.
And I believe we are joined with Paris right now. Hello.
Hello.
Is this Paris?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing real good. You are joined with me, Kenny, and Jenna is also on the phone line.
Hey,
Hey,
Paris.
Jenna. Hey, Jenna.
Well, hello. Thank you for both of y'all for joining us. Paris, now that you're on, I'm just gonna ask you the two questions I just asked Jenna. How did you get started in wrestling, Paris?
Well, my dad, Atomic Kid, was a wrestler, and he trained with Max Payne and Craze, and he actually wrestled with some former WWE superstars like Doink the Clown and Rodney Mack. Then, from whenever I was watching that, I just fell in love with it. So I started to train with my dad, Atomic Kid, and Raging Rick Morgan, and the Memphis Mauler, Nathan Lawler, and that's just how it started.
And who were your favorite wrestlers growing up, Paris?
Well, that's a hard one, actually. I would have to say Shawn Michaels, because I loved him whenever he was with the Rock and Roll Express, and I absolutely loved it whenever he was with the DX, and I just loved watching him wrestle with singles match. And plus, he's hot, so.
Without a doubt, Shawn Michaels, one of the all-time greats. Um,
Oh,
All-time great, yes indeed. Now, this question is for you both. Do you both remember your first match? And I'll start with Jenna first.
I remember my first match was actually against a guy. His name was LC, and I went over with a bulldog and pinned him for the win. That was my first match, and I was incredibly nervous and ready to get it over with, but once I got in the ring, I grew a love for it even more and didn't want to stop, so it kept me going.
All right, Paris, same question. Do you remember your first match?
oh yes, I was nervous as well. I felt like I was just shaking out of my bones. So it was actually a tag with Jenna, and we went against with Angel Eyes, and we tried to show her how to respect the wrestling business instead of interfering with everybody's wrestling match. And that's where it all started.
Now, what are some of the wrestling companies do you two work for? Not only individually, but as a team.
Um, Jenna, are you going to answer that?
I'll answer if you want me to.
Sure.
Together we do Total Wrestling Explosion. I wrestled with Pro Wrestling Ego, Center Ring, Wrestling All-Star Revolution, Mississippi Combat Alliance, High Impact Wrestling, and a few others.
All right, and which role do you both prefer better? You two like being the baby face or the heel?
I like doing the baby face because I just loved hearing my name getting screamed, and it's a lot easier, and it's so much fun.
And I feel the same way, the baby face, because the kids get into it so much more, and they get so excited, and just the aura from the kids just make you feel so much good, and they enjoy it so much.
Oh, yeah.
And do you two have any upcoming shows that you two would like to promote?
I do. It's actually for NWA Total Wrestling Explosion. I'm going to be in Vaden on September 8th. That's the one that's coming up. And then in November is going to be with NWA Total Wrestling Explosion in McAdams.
And I'll also be at those two shows. And I also will be wrestling for Pro Wrestling Ego in Durant this Saturday.
Again, I am joined with both Paris Kelly and Jenna Jackson right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Be on the lookout for both ladies causing a lot of trouble. Just seeing the posts y'all have made, y'all two obviously great friends and very talented wrestlers as well. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers you like working with? Male, female, tag team, whatever the case may be. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers being in the ring with or against?
In the ring, I would have to say my favorite would be with Jenna, but I'm actually up for anybody who would challenge me.
I like being in the ring with Paris Kelly, and Wade and Sassy Vegas were two of my favorites that I have ever worked with. But as well, anybody that wants to challenge me and step up, feel free to do so.
Wow, whoever listened to this live or eventually recorded, sound like an open challenge to me. Anyone, any place, anywhere, anytime, obviously.
I'm ready, and Paris has my back. And
Oh, yes, I do. We will do it Paris and Jenna style.
Oh, yeah.
And who are some wrestlers that you haven't had the chance to work with but would like to work with someday?
Me, it would be for an indie wrestler, it would be Angelina Rush. She just seems to have this look, this style, and she is great in the ring. And for a WWE superstar, it would be AJ.
I would like to work AJ as well, or Velvet Sky, and indie female, I would probably say Chrissy Vane.
Awesome choices there. And let me ask y'all this, considering not only y'all wrestlers, y'all wrestling fans, what's your take on the wrestling that you see on TV, like the WWE, the TNAs, or the Ring of Honors? I mean, what's your take on the pro companies that you see on television?
I think they're really good. I mean, I would love to be on WWE. So that's my take on.
I have the take on WWE. I would love to be on WWE, but TNA promotes women's wrestling more. They have more chance there to have longer matches and actual wrestling matches instead of the bra and panty matches or the just with the little gimmick matches. So if I had to choose, I would like to be on TNA.
And what are some goals you ladies would like to set for yourselves? Championships, being on the world more, or eventually maybe getting into the big league someday? What are some goals that you two like to set?
My goal is to just keep on training and just get a lot better. I mean, because really you will never stop learning. So if I make it there, I will still keep learning no matter what.
And if the opportunity presents itself, TNA has a segment called Gut Check. Is that something that you both ladies will consider doing?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
I've heard a lot about it.
Well, so
I
far
would consider doing it.
they only have one female that actually went on television, Taylor Hendricks out of Ohio Valley Wrestling, and she got a contract.
She is awesome.
I'm a huge fan of her, and I wish her well. And like one of you said moments ago, Impact, the knockouts, they got it going on right now. As far as the big companies, the matches are good. They're a lot longer, and the crowd is into it a lot more than the diva matches. Now they have signed Sarah Del Rey, and I think they signed Mercedes KV. So maybe they are laying off the models per se, but it's a matter of waiting and see. And I have my hopes up a little bit because of Sarah Del Rey, but we'll see going forward. Um, my next question for you both is, what do you consider the highlight of your wrestling careers thus far?
Um, the highlight, I would have to say, is just seeing the crowds with smiles on their face and just loving it. And, of course, meeting Jenna, I mean, she just took me in, and she didn't treat me like I was new for my first time. She just treated me like I was like her friend from forever ago. So that was one of the highlights of it.
Oh, thank you. I think a lot of Paris, and I see a lot of potential in her. Um, my highlight of my wrestling career was working with Wade Garrett and Sassy Vegas, and that was pretty much at the beginning of my wrestling career. I got slammed um any which way you can think of by them. So they taught me a lot.
And do you two have a name for your team, or you just go by Jenna and Paris?
Basically, Jenna and Paris.
But we do it upright.
Mhm.
All right, and what would your advice be to anyone that wants to become a professional wrestler?
For me, it's never stop learning. Just because you have your first match, it doesn't mean you should quit training and quit learning. You have to take something away from each match and learn it. When it starts becoming fun, you might as well just hang up your boots and sell your ties, because you're basically done with wrestling.
If I could give advice to someone, it would be make sure that you have a legitimate professional trainer. and make sure that you get the proper training before you lace up your boots and get in the ring.
Exactly.
Now, if you two wasn't wrestling, what would you both be doing right now?
I would probably still be watching my dad wrestle and just be in the crowd and cheering him on.
I would be a fan of wrestling. I really can't imagine not being part of it.
And why don't you ladies go ahead and promote your social links, Twitter, Facebook, or any other links people need to know?
For Facebook, you can just look me up as Paris Kelly. And if you want to book me, you could just go on to nwa-twe.com and leave a message saying that you would like to book me.
Okay, and my social link is Jenna Jackson. And if you want to book me, contact me through there, or just send me a friend request if you're just interested in being friends.
Again, I am joined with both Paris Kelly and Jenna Jackson right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. It was great talking to you ladies. And y'all from Mississippi. I was born in Mississippi, so you know it's good to see some Mississippi girls representing.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
It kind of makes me think. One of you from Mississippi and the other living in Illinois.
I was actually born in Chicago, the Windy City. And then I moved down here, and it's just great.
Gotcha.
I was born and raised in Mississippi, as you can tell in my accent.
Oh, yes.
I love the accents. I was born in Mississippi as well, so I know a thing or two when it comes to the accents. It's all good. Before I let you ladies go, I ask all guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name. And what after you say your names, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You can either do it individually or you can say it at the same time. Whatever works well with you both.
We can say it at the same time.
All right. Go right ahead.
I'm Paris Kelly, and I'm listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
All right, Jenna, go right ahead.
Okay. My name is Jenna Jackson, and you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Perfect. And this interview was taken care of Jenna and Paris style. Thank you, ladies, for your time. Best of success to you both. Represent Mississippi to the fullest. And do you ladies have any final words and shout-outs?
Just thank you for having me.
Thank you both, and you both have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Paris Kelly and Jenna Jackson joining me here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.